Are you thinking about moving to New Braunfels, Texas? Well, we are here to help guide you as we are local real estate agents who have helped hundreds of people move to this exact location and the surrounding areas.
We're Drake and Michelle Carter with the Carter team at Keller Williams Heritage. We're your local guides, realtors, and pros about everything New Braunfels. Let's dive into the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. Let's talk about prime location. We're evenly situated between the metroplexes of San Antonio and Austin. We're 45 minutes to 55 minutes to downtown Austin, where we're about 30 to 40 minutes from downtown San Antonio. So if there is something that New Braunfels doesn't have, your favorite store or something, you just know that San Antonio or Austin just a hop, jump, and skip away.
Or commuting for work. So many people commute to Austin and San Antonio to work when they live in New Braunfels. So it's a great spot to be able to commute into the city for your job. And even closer than Austin and San Antonio, we have San Marcos. And San Marcos has some of the best shopping. And I remember growing up, we did not even live in the area, but we would come to San Marcos to go to the outlet mall for back to school shopping. So it's about 10 minutes from New Braunfels, which is really nice.
Next up is the natural beauty and outdoor living. We're talking about rivers, lakes, everything water. So say you want to have your rivers. We have the Guadalupe and Comal rivers running through New Braunfels, great for tubing, kayaking, swimming. And then we have Landa Park, which is a 51-acre park in New Braunfels.
You can't forget the Landa Park train. And we bring that up because it is part of the outdoor recreation program. At Landa Park, you've got a swimming pool, you've got actually multiple swimming pools, you've got a little splash pad, they've got a water slide, there's just so much to do, paddle boarding. It's really fun. But Landa Park is a centralized location. It's a beautiful park where I didn't realize how nice it was until I had people come visit me while living here, and they said our park was just phenomenal. And it really opened my eyes to, wow, we are so lucky to live in such a nice space with so many parks to enjoy.
So moving on from the rivers and the park, let's talk about lakes. We have Canyon Lake. That is just a quick 20 minutes north of New Braunfels. That is one of the prettiest lakes in all of Texas. Great for boating activities. And then in New Braunfels, we actually have two lakes, Lake Dunlap and Lake McQueenie, which are known for water sports, wake surfing, skiing, tubing, those sorts of things. So along with the rivers and Landa Park, we do have some great lakes as well.
Next up, let's talk about the rich history and culture. So everybody knows that New Braunfels has German roots. It is known for one of the biggest festivals in the area, Wurstfest, also known as the 10-day salute to sausage. So growing up, everyone knew about Wurstfest. It was the place to be. We have our own days that we like to go because it gets so packed. So our personal favorites are Sundays and at least one of the free nights. That's always fun to bring the kids. But it's such a great time, and it just brings you all back to your German roots. Along with that, we also have German restaurants like Krause's and Alpine House. Those are just a couple of them that give nods to the German heritage here.
Along with Wurstfest, we have tons of other festivals like Sangerfest, the Wine and Music Fest, Wasselfest, plus many more around town, which just really exudes the culture of our little town.
And then you've got the downtown area, which is full of classic boutiques, coffee shops, businesses. Anything you could need is right downtown in New Braunfels.
Sports bars.
That's true. Drake's favorite sports bars down there. We'll get to that in another video. Next up, we've got a family-friendly environment here. You've got so many young families living here in New Braunfels, Texas. Some of the reasons are the excellent schools. We've got both Comal ISD and New Braunfels ISD here in New Braunfels. Both traditionally have great ratings. And then you also have private schools. I hear so many people love New Braunfels Christian Academy, and then there's also St. Peter and Paul as well. So you've got plenty of options, and anywhere you live in the area, we always encourage you to look at websites like say niche.com and figure out if the schools fit what you're looking for. But overall, we hear great feedback on the schools here. Continuing forward with the family-friendly theme of this area, you've also got amazing camps. Like we've got T-Bar M that so many of our family friends go to, and everybody always comes home from that camp just enlightened and excited. And then to add on to that, we also have sports. There's everything from swimming to soccer to baseball, like just all the programs that you could want as a little kid. They've got that here in the area.
Next up is the economic advantages. We have a growing job market here around New Braunfels area, being on the I-35 corridor connecting San Antonio and Austin. There's so much industry that is growing around the area between tech industry, food service, health. All of those things are booming around this area. Next is Texas. We don't have a state income tax. That's always a great thing. Next up is reasonable property taxes. We don't have that state income tax, but we do have property tax. But if you look into our area versus other areas in Texas, we're pretty much reasonably priced, if not lower than some other areas. And that also depends if you're in town versus out of town. And so just always be cognitive of when you purchase to look at that tax rate, because it can play a big part of what your home actually costs.
Yes, we see a lot of people comparing in-city tax to outside city limit tax, and when they're looking at homes, and there is a big difference. So like Drake said, just keep that in mind as we're shopping with you.
And doubling down on that property tax, next is like property values. So property values here in the area are strong and potentially have room for good investment opportunities, but definitely check with us because there are some ups and downs to that in our area.
Okay, last pro for the day is food and entertainment. So we've got some true local favorites that bring all the local regular people there, but then also all the tourists. So the ones that pop into my mind are the Grist Mill, Green River Grill, and McAdoo's. Those are some of the hot places that people from out of town and in town like to go to. But then you also have the chain restaurants too. We just got a Tzatziki's and I haven't been yet, but I've heard the most amazing things about it, so I'm excited to try it. And there's also your regular chains. You've got everything from Whataburger, local Texas favorite, to Chick-fil-A. We've got 2 of those, right? We could always use a third, to be honest.
And then you have some of my favorite restaurants like Tacos and Tequila here in Green, Scores downtown. They have some great burgers and wings. And one of my favorite date places to take Michelle is Wasatch Grill downtown.
And then we've got live music. We have a whole separate video dedicated to the best places in town to watch live music. But just to give you a scope of what we're talking about, we've got everything from Green Hall, which is the oldest dance hall in Texas. And then you've got bigger concerts like Whitewater. And then you've got more intimate settings, more acoustic settings, really get to know the artist like Redbird Listening Room. There's so many more to add to this. So go check out that video too.
Now, we would be doing a disservice if we didn't mention the cons about living in New Braunfels. First up, everybody that lives here is going to tell you, if you're from a small town and maybe you've lived here now in New Braunfels, you've seen the growing pains that we've sustained, and traffic around 35, around 306 in Creekside, or around 46 coming in from like the Seguin area in. Those are all going to take, 20, 30 minutes. Now, maybe you're moving here from an out of state where traffic is normal. And so, we've helped quite a few people move to our area where, 20 minutes of traffic isn't much to them. So it really doesn't affect them or cause any pain or heartburn with them. So, it's up to you if you're going to let traffic really be a con, but we should definitely mention that it does cause a little bit of heartburn, at least for us.
Yes, if you live, for example, off of 46, headed to Seguin, we always like to emphasize, hey, if you have an 8 to 5 job and you're going into New Braunfels for your work, then it might not be the best option for you. Let's maybe look on a different road.
Or just allot yourself an extra 5-10 minutes to get to town.
Exactly. It's all about perspective, like Drake said, because if you're not used to that sort of thing, it could be a pain, but if you are used to it, it's a breeze.
So next up is rapid development. And there's a few items that'll kind of coincide with this, like the traffic area, right? So with this rapid development that we've seen in New Braunfels, we've seen some of the infrastructure not be able to keep up. Traffic has been a little congested in some areas, and they're continually trying to expand some of those roadways.
It also is heavily affected by tourist season. So if it is during the summertime, during spring break, even when school starts or when school's out, all of these things play into how we feel about the infrastructure and the way that New Braunfels is being built. There's also limited parking. That's a huge topic right now. They also just installed a policy to pay to park downtown. And I can't lie, I'm very interested to see how this plays out because I chose a different coffee shop the other day to meet a coworker at because I just didn't want to pay for downtown parking. The seasonal changes with the traffic and the infrastructure, it also goes into all of our events. Now, something great about New Braunfels is there is not a lack of participation here. If there is an event everyone is going to be at it. Two specifically that come to mind are the Tube Shoot, and we just had our first ever pickle festival. Feedback from those, you gotta get to the Tube Shoot early, and if you have little kids, sometimes that's hard to get there early and be there at 7 a.m. when it starts at 10. It's just a little difficult to get a good spot. And then the other one is the Pickle Festival. For that one, the feedback, I think it was very much a trial year this year, but just know that everybody's gonna be there. You're probably gonna have to fight through crowds. Another one might be, say, the Comal County Fair and Rodeo. You got to get there early. So pro is there's never a lack of participation, but the con that comes with that is you got to be there early. You got to pack for the whole day and just be mentally ready to have a good time no matter what the situation is when it comes to fighting for a seat.
Next up is some of the weather challenges we see here in Central Texas. We're getting into July, August, what we call the dog days of August. We're going to be seeing triple-digit temperatures. Probably even today we'll see some triple-digit temperatures. And on top of that triple-digit temperature, we're also going to see some humidity.
We say this as we're wiping off sweat.
Yes. I'm glad I have a cap on right now because my bald head would definitely have some sweat beads running down it.
So if you're not used to the weather, brace yourself. I think it's worth it, but you got to make that decision for yourself.
Yeah. Also could be a pro. We don't have very heavy, harsh winters. So if you're looking for a calm winter, we might get down in the 30s, 20s, maybe, 4 or 5 days out of the whole winter.
Okay, so speaking of harsh winters, we did have one harsh winter. And that leads us to our next con, which is utilities. So a lot of times people are not happy about their NBU, New Braunfels utilities bill. And most of it is because back when we had our freeze in 2021, it cost a lot of money to get everything back up and running. So now the homeowners are having to pay for that currently. So whether you lived here then or not, you're having to pay for it now. So pro tip is to ask for a set of the utility bills prior to closing on your new house, just so you can have a realistic expectation of what's going to be due when the utility bill comes. With that also comes allergies. If you didn't have allergies before, you might get them now. I'm on allergy medication. All 3 of our kids are on allergy medication. And I wouldn't even bring it up, but it is kind of consistent. We're meeting more and more people who struggle with allergies around here. So I just would, I have to bring it up as a con. It's worth it for us. We figured it out, but just know that going into it.
I have no allergies. I don't take any allergy medicine, so to each their own. The next con we have is public transportation, or let's say the lack thereof. Here in New Braunfels, it's very going to be dependent on you having your own vehicle due to the lack of public transportation. We don't have any city buses. We don't have any taxis. We have some we definitely have ride share, but you're going to be paying for that. So like trains, subways, trams, any sort of public transportation, we really don't have that here yet.
For our last con today, we have cost of living. This is a hot area in terms of weather, but then also in terms of prices, home prices specifically. So when you're looking around, a lot of times people want to start here to find their dream home, and then sometimes they end up going on the outskirts, whether that's for taxes or whether that's to get cheaper home prices. But this is such a fun place to live that the costs are a little bit elevated than some of the surrounding areas. That being said, there's also a higher price for common goods too, just because you do have that added almost tourism tax because it's such a popular place for people to come shop.
So now that we've given you the pros and cons of New Braunfels and living in this area, who's New Braunfels perfect for? Well, if you want that great family feel, good schools, great outdoor activity area, this could be for you.
If you work in San Antonio or Austin and you're okay with a commute, could also be great for you.
If you're a retiree or maybe a first-time home buyer, New Braunfels could be good for you.
Who is New Braunfels not for? I would say anybody who is needing public transportation, anyone who's a little bit nervous about the heat,
and people who are wanting that urban lifestyle, that really city vibe, where you have corner stores on every corner, bars that stay open, and nightlife that stays open past midnight. That's not what we have here, not the vibe that we have going on in New Braunfels.
If you have any questions about the area, maybe you're wanting to look at some homes, compare different areas to New Braunfels, please reach out to us today, comment below, or send us a message. Our info's in the bottom.
Again, we're Drake and Michelle Carter with the Carter team at Keller Williams Heritage, your local realtors and guides to everything New Braunfels.
See you in the next video.